Welcome back to Egan Brooks' Psychology channel. Today we're going to talk about 3 of the best psychological ways to overcome the fear of judgment. Now, what people think of us plays a huge role in our life because it limits us, it takes away our energy, and it is just such a burden to progressing in the ways we want. So, how can we overcome it using my knowledge of psychology? I want to give you 3 quick pointers. The first one is highlights. Now, we often know that social media is a highlight reel, but what about life in general? I think everyone who shows up to this world is putting on a front that they haven't figured out. They aren't struggling as much as they show. I've interviewed over 100 people from all walks of life in my podcast, and what I have learned is that everyone is putting on a front, but behind the scenes they are struggling, and we're all struggling because life is not easy, and what is personal is universal. The things you are going through, people are all going through in different ways, and we are so much more relatable to each other than we think. So stop comparing your behind the scenes drama, your tension, chaos, and misunderstanding of what you're going to do to everyone's highlight reel, their social media posts, the things they tell you on a nice dinner, because unfortunately we all know that life is not simple and straightforward. So stop putting the pressure on yourself to compare to everyone's highlights reel, because the more deep conversations you have, the more you'll realize everyone is going through the same thing. So take the pressure off yourself. Number 2, projection. Now this one is going to hit you a little bit more between the eyes, because what if I said that they're not judging you, you're judging them? Now often when we feel judged and like people are saying things about us, we're actually saying mean things about ourselves and we're putting it in their head. We're making an assumption that they're saying mean things about us. So actually we're the ones judging them, thinking that they're judging us, having a negative attitude towards them. Now, unfortunately, there is another aspect where people can be quite negative and people are also projecting their insecurities onto us, but we need to take responsibility for our part of that equation, which is 1, let them do them. They're allowed to be negative because we have to give people the opportunity to live life how they want. But let's remove this invisible cord that holds us to this place of anger and frustration and hate and toxicity by saying 1, let them, that's on them. And number 2, projection. Let's stop putting our own agenda onto the situation. Let's stop assuming negative things about us, and let's be okay with the feelings surfacing. Let's stop trying to remove negative, or I would say difficult emotions from our life. These emotions that come up, fear, anxiety, embarrassment, they're there because they want to protect you and they're indicating that you feel threatened and your survival is at harm. But it's not. But start to give these emotions a bit more love and understanding and a bit more curiosity. They play a role, they play a purpose, they are there for a reason. So let's not put the judgment onto someone else. Let's realize that it's okay to have these feelings, but we need to surrender them and we need to start letting them go by understanding that we aren't the emotions, but they are just there simply to remind us that our safety is such a priority. Number 3, time. Now, often these thoughts and feelings come into our head about a certain situation, whether it's a job, a girl, family, business, health, and we're so worried about what someone's going to think of us in this specific moment. But the question you have to ask yourself, will it matter in 10 weeks? Will it matter in 10 months? Will it matter in 10 years? And even further than that, will it matter in 100 years, 200 years when no one is around anymore? And this is the existential side of psychology that I love, because it is understanding that the only reason something matters to us is because we make it matter to us. We create an attachment to what people are saying and we take it on board as value. We internalize people's hate as an indicator of our worth. Now, we have to take responsibility for the fact that unfortunately people are going to be negative, but can we find the opportunity to cultivate more positivity? It doesn't matter if people are negative to us. What matters is when we take on board that and we become a sponge to their negative energy. So, let go, breathe, and surrender to those thoughts and feelings, because you have the opportunity within to remove that from your life. Because ultimately, in 200 years, their kids, their grandkids won't even be around anymore to remember who you are. And sort of putting these all together, it's all a perception. Nothing in life has a meaning except the one we give it. So our emotions and our feelings and our thoughts, they're all trying to protect us and hide us away from this pain and this thought of meaningless in life. But you create your purpose, you have the control. There are more tools to find it. And hopefully you can follow on the journey and we can start to unlock these tools together. But if you like this video, remember, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.